How y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of Vibrational Intuition. All right. This is a podcast that I started a couple of years ago, along with the same time as the pop-up podcast. But this is a podcast about spirituality in general. You know, it's a spinoff of the chakras, the road to Indigo. If you've been following me and what I've been doing, you can check me out at www.indigokid87.com. But chakras on my YouTube channel. Spencer Williams /chakras. Make sure you go check out all the first season episodes. And we also I want you to check out the second season. The second season is going to be Chakras, the Spirit of Indigo, where I was in Omaha, Nebraska, doing a lot of stuff throughout a nonprofit news station. Really appreciated them giving me some time to set up my show. But with that being said, today we're doing the podcast. Vibrational Intuition is the name of it. I'm solo today. If you've ever seen me in the past do podcasts, you know I always like having a counterpart, some kind of separate energy that I could bounce off of. But we're going to play with it because it's time for me to go on ahead and get out this hiatus that I call myself. But I got the equipment. We're going to talk about sacred geometry. That is the topic tonight. A lot of you have already known about sacred geometry. I talk about it as well on my YouTube channel. I got me some references as well today. I got the Ancient Secret to the Flower of Life, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Mr. Drumbalo Melchizedek. Going to provide the link in the description for you, okay? We're going to keep it real simple. We're going to keep it slow as well. You know, I'm not trying to really go deep, but information is everywhere. And if I have some information, I'm going to give it to you. First of all, I'm going to explain what sacred geometry is. Then we're going to talk about some practical ways on how we, people who even aren't spiritual, people who choose to not meditate, people who choose to not dive into the yoga, these are the things that help you know what sacred geometry is. People who study the gemstones and the crystals, people who draw a lot, the musicians. We're also going to talk about the spiritual insight. We're going to keep this thing practical as well when it comes down to the insights that I give, because that's the only way to make them practical. If I'm practicing myself, I can give the energy off to you as well, all right? But first we're going to start with the Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden mean ratio, the platonic solids. These are the things that explain what sacred geometry is. And before I even go into that, let me backtrack. Sacred geometry. 2 words. Sacred, the first one. Divine in nature. This is what this word is truly meaning, or having some type of religious purpose to some extent to most people. So that's the sacred part. Geometry is a specific mathematic that involves, angles, lines, shapes, patterns. All these things combined with the sacred tells us that we are studying the sacred patterns of life in nature. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from, the spirituality. As you can see around me, I'm with the chakras. I also study all of the zodiacs, and not to mention the elements. These are the things that keep us grounded because they're actually in nature. We can go see the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, all the elements of the periodic table as well. But keeping on track, the Fibonacci sequence, a sequence of numbers, all right? Also combined with the golden mean ratio. With the Fibonacci sequence, each number is the sum of the previous 2 numbers, all right? So with that being said, we start with 0, and then we have 1. So you can't add those up until you get 1, okay? And the next one's going to be 1, and then 1 and 1 will give you 2. So it goes 0, 1, 1, 2. Then we got 3, and then we got 5, all right? And then 5 and 3 gives you 8, and then 8 and 3 gives you 11, and then so on and so on, okay? That's the Fibonacci sequence. found in nature, flowers, rose petals, anything, ants. Even the human anatomy has the Fibonacci sequence. Should I say, what's the correct word? I hate using the wrong words, but it's a part of it. It's like built in us. All right, you can go check this stuff out as well. But we're gonna talk a little bit about the Platonic solids. This is the thing that people aren't really focused on as much. I talk about this in my second season of the chakras, the spirit of Indigo. It's a whole episode on them, but the Platonic solids that are relevant there are 5 of them: the tetrahedron, the octahedron, the hexahedron, the icosahedron, and the dodecahedron. Also, which correspond to the elements, okay? The fire, the air, the earth, the water, and the ether. Platonic solids are 3D shapes where each face has the same polygon and the same number of faces meeting at the vortex, all right? Keep my notes here so I don't scramble and keep rambling as well, but the Platonic solids is what I like to keep around me as well. I have some on me, around me, little figures. Those, and they work with the gemstones as well, the Platonic solids and the gemstones. Once you start drawing these symbols, once you start working with the actual solids themselves, because if you study geometry, you can draw this stuff, you know what I mean? Let me stay on course. Let's make this stuff practical. Manifesting dreams, dream catchers. Once again, I said drawing your own patterns. I'm gonna put some links in the description because I have actually been YouTubing a lot of this stuff as well, because I've been falling off from the learning process. You know, I can only speak from first-hand knowledge that I've had, and I work a lot. And it's time for me to stop using that as an excuse, and it's time for me to actually make my my entrepreneurship come true. Because when I start living by these same principles that I'm teaching to you, then I become more credible. All right. Now, with that being said, I have a dream catcher in my room. I have a couple around the house. I know some of y'all have some. This energy that we're manifesting, all right, it has purpose to it. And I want everyone to know that it has purpose to it. As far as drawing them, I'm going to put the link in this book, but where did I see that at? I shouldn't have lost that page. Here we go. I want to show you a close-up page. This is page 177, where it has a view of the equilibrium. Now, the spiritual insight, so we can keep this thing going forward and not going too long, is going to be us actually going out and researching. That's the word I like to use for this year, is research. Not to become an information hoarder, but do some research, all right? Because a lot of this stuff comes from the spiritual realm. It's not practical to most people. And when I speak on it, I get laughed at sometimes, I guess, because I guess I need to become more knowledgeable to certain topics. But I like to advocate learning and research. All right, visuals and sounds. Musicians know this often too well. All right, as do poets, spoken word poets. They know about the sacred geometry. And let me just stop right there, all right? Because I don't want to go too far into that, and I'm going to keep this thing short. We'll talk about that on the next podcast. Everything coming from this realm of existence will be spiritual in nature. So me talking about sacred geometry is just one portion of it. Gemstones and crystals might be another good episode for me to come on with next. We'll actually talk about some books as well on an episode down the road. Let me give you the picture of this book just in case because we're going live right now as well as we do this. And I want everybody to see the first and the second. Not too much different, just a color difference in the book. All right. I'm actually going to give one of those away too. Yeah. I never let information leave my library. It's been known to not return. But I've been what I called earlier an information hoarder. And I think it's time for me to stop. It's time for me to give away all the information that I can to people who are willing to be receptive of the information. And when it comes down to that, I'm gonna keep it real subtle when I start giving off information in the future. I'm gonna wrap it up here. You can find me at www.indigokid87.com. As you can see, I don't do too well, but I can't bounce off of somebody else, so I don't have a specific strip ready in line. But I didn't want to bore you to death. That's the main thing. People's attention spans it's not that long these days, and I don't want to be the one people talk about as being the boring guy. People who know me know me. You can find me once again at www.indigokid87.com. That's the website. IndigoKid87 on all other social platforms. I'm going to continue going forward. I want to give a huge shout out to Sound on the Hill. That's an entertainment group here in Huntsville, Alabama. I do a lot of videography work for them as well, a lot of photography. Shout out to G-Code, shout out to Annalise, CC the Poet, Khadijah, Kimmy, Keno, not to mention my homeboys, Lico, Hoodie Briscoe. I'm definitely going to give some praise out to Polio Poppy. I really appreciate that, brother. And everybody else a part of the group. Jared, people who make things go like Aria. I really appreciate good energy and spirits around me. Sound on the Hill week is going to be September the 10th through September the 16th. That's the anniversary of Sound on the Hill everywhere. My birthday is actually the 17th, so that's going to be a Sunday. It's going to be a lot of performances going on that week. I'm ready. I'm ready to see some good fall spirit, see some good Virgo spirits. Shout out to all the Virgos. It's Virgo season now. But yeah, I love y'all. This has been another edition of Vibrational Intuition. All right, a spiritual podcast where we talking everything but spirituality and I guess a little bit of business. It's not gonna be all business, but we're gonna try to keep it interesting. Thank y'all for joining. I'll see y'all next time. All right, we out.